Question 823. Which of the following actions would not provide a defense for a homeowner against a mechanic's lien? A. Notice of completion. B. Untimely lien notice. C. Notice of succession. D. Notice of non-responsibility. Correct answer is C. Notice of succession. Note that a contractor must be licensed for the entire time work was performed in order to file a valid mechanic's lien, while a subcontractor working for a general contractor needs to give a preliminary 20-day notice to the homeowner for filing a lien. Question 824. The following are methods of involuntary alienation for the transfer of real property, except A. Adverse possession. B. Prescription. C. Devise. D. Either A or B. Correct answer is C. Devise. To devise is to dispose of real property by will, a voluntary act. Both adverse possession and prescription relate to the involuntary loss of one's rights and land. Question 825. Which of the following is subject to control by a zoning ordinance? A. The type of structure that can be constructed on a lot. B. Property use. C. Building height. D. All of the above. Correct answer is D. All of the above. Zoning ordinances regulate building usage, along with size, shape and height. They also determine minimum distances between buildings and for property boundaries, including the setback and side yard requirements. Some of the purposes of the regulations are to control the proliferation of businesses which do not conform to community norms, to impact population density, and to help maintain open spaces and access to air and sunlight for ideal living conditions. Question 826. To ensure they are credited with a commission if the property sells after a listing terminates, brokers should try to insert this clause into the listing agreement. A. Safety clause. B. Contingency clause. C. Novation clause. D. None of the above. Correct answer is A. Safety clause. A safety clause, sometimes called a carryover clause, is often added to listings by brokers. The clause notes that a broker is still owed a commission for a certain time period after the listing has terminated on the condition that the property was purchased by a prospective purchaser whom the broker procured during the listing period. Question 827. An improvement's economic life depends on the A. Repair policy of the owner. B. Improvement's age and condition. C. Improvement's use. D. All of the above. Correct answer is D. All of the above. An improvement's economic life depends on the owner's repair policy, the improvement's age and condition, and the use of the improvement. Question 828. In doing an audit of their lending activities, a lender discovered that most of its loans were seasoned loans. This meant that those loans, A. had their payment due dates extended, B. were made throughout the different seasons of the year, C. had a history of payments made on schedule, D. had older loan recipients. Correct answer is C. had a history of payments made on schedule. A seasoned loan refers to loans with a history of on-time payments. Question 829. Which of the following would be an estate in severalty? A. An apartment building with at least 7 units. B. A non-profit business taking title to real property. C. A corporation with 100 shareholders holding title to an estate. D. 7 or more people holding title as tenants in common. Correct answer is C. A corporation with 100 shareholders holding title to an estate. Sole ownership is an estate in severalty. Even though a corporation can be owned by multiple shareholders, it is viewed as a single legal person. It holds title in severalty. Question 830. In an open listing, a seller promises a commission to the broker if he finds a buyer, without a promise from the broker to find a buyer. This kind of contract is termed A. Lee pendens. B. Unilateral contract. C. Open promise contract. D. Bilateral contract. Correct answer is B. Unilateral contract. An open listing, also called a non-exclusive listing, gives a number of brokers the right to sell a property. Question 831. Oral agreements are A. never valid, B. also called parole agreements, C. cannot amend written agreements, D. both B and C. Correct answer is D. Both B and C. This parole evidence rule requires that when a written contract is in place between parties, the written contract must contain the entire agreement. Any amendments must be done in writing. This rule safeguards against any agreement that a party might make stating that the contract had been amended by a verbal agreement. Question 832. For appraisal purposes, the replacement cost approach is likelier to be applied to new buildings because A. newer buildings are constructed of stronger materials, B. the way depreciation is estimated, C. older buildings have less value than newer buildings, D. changes in zoning laws. Correct answer is B. the way depreciation is estimated. The replacement cost approach relies on the calculation of depreciation to assess value, and with newer buildings, it is easier to assess depreciation. Question 779. Besides the interest rate, a charge affecting the cost of a loan is A. discount points, B. PMI, C. origination fees, D. all of the above. Question 833. A listing broker knows the property he is trying to sell has some structural damage, inadequate insulation, and it is overpriced by 10%. Nevertheless, he runs an ad that reads, "Charming, well-constructed two-bedroom home for sale, not a fixer-upper. Great price." The rules governing real estate ads have A. not been violated, the broker is merely puffing, B. been violated, because the broker knows that the price is actually not great, C. violated, because the ad lies about material defects, D. not been violated, because everyone knows ads aren't true. Correct answer is C. violated, because the ad lies about material defects. Most of the ad can be seen as puffery, exaggerations reasonably to be expected of a seller as to the degree of quality of his product that no reasonable person takes literally, which is legal. But lying about a material defect like the property's construction qualifies as failure to disclose pertinent information, which goes against the truth in advertising laws in the State Business and Professions Code. Question 834. Older deeds and tax documents sometimes include the phrase, et ux, which means A. and wife, B. and others, C. individually, D. good luck. Correct answer is A. and wife. Et ux is short for the Latin phrase, et uxor, literally, and wife. Prior to women being allowed to own property in their own right or possess equal rights to property owned by their husband, a deed or tax record often referred to property as being owned by the husband, et ux.